All right, welcome back to Tenor for Tenor, a Granblue Fantasy podcast with Omikin and me, or I don't know the grammatically correct way to say this. This is episode number
7.
7. Episode number 7 for Final Fantasy 7.
Oh
So,
my god.
what?
You were
Anyways.
such a nerd.
Me saying Final Fantasy 7 makes me a nerd?
Yes. For thinking about that when you hear the number 7, like, get a grip. Get help.
It's the best number because it represents Final Fantasy 7. I don't know what else to say.
Oh, wait. Go on. Talk about your nerd game.
It's a good game. There's a game, the third part of the remake series is coming out next year. On a related note, I saw that GTA might also be delayed again. If it gets delayed into my Final Fantasy 7 year, I'm going to be mad. Just saying.
What are they still doing with that game?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Does that mean Danganronpa is also delayed?
Okay, that's so funny, by the way. I'm sure like Kodaka didn't like explicitly say that, but it's funny how he's just like taken it and ran along with it. Basically, the Danganronpa 2 or Danganronpa creator said, "Hey, Danganronpa 2 got delayed because I'm gonna be busy playing GTA." So yeah. Anyways, reining us back in. So yesterday we had the summer stream. Lots of announcements. So thought it'd be a good idea to do a 10 for 10 this week.
Oh, you want to do a 10 for 10 right now?
Yeah.
I don't think the banner is that good.
Well, no, not okay. All right, you got me. Good one. Clap, clap. All right, before we get into all the announcements, what was your favorite thing announced? Or shown?
We're just gonna spoil everything?
Well, it's a preview of what's to come. It's like showing the chorus of a song at the beginning of the YouTube video before it happens to keep people's attentions and clicking off the video.
Okay, I see. But that's a good idea. They should do that more often for every music video.
I hate it when they do that.
Honestly, the coolest thing that I'm looking forward to is the new MC skin. I wasn't expecting that. Like I feel like I was expecting other stuff, but I was not expecting.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one either. We'll show it on stream later. Yeah, I think that one's exciting. I think for me, I'm most excited about the enemy skill thing. I think it'll be fun, and I want to see what they introduce. It sounds like a completely different system than anything else we have. So, yeah, that's what I'm most excited for. All right, should we go down? I guess we just go down the timeline.
Sure.
Go in order. All right, let me bring it up. So this is on the wiki. If you guys don't know, if you missed the summer stream and you just want notes on what happened, you go to the front page of the wiki, scroll down, and then so we have future updates and timeline. All right, so August 13th, we get the Summer Select Star Premium. This is just the summer scam with the selectables. Always a nice scam. One of the better scams of the year for sure.
Surely a guaranteed good character, right?
Depends on who you're missing. I think I'm still missing 10, so I can still get a guaranteed new thing here.
I was at exactly 10 last time. So but I did miss Gwen and Yo, so I'm at 11 right now. So somebody's getting kicked.
I'm sure there are plenty of good kick candidates.
I can think of a few, yeah.
Yeah. All right, August 14th. So next week we get unlimited trial modes. We've been asking for this for so long.
It's funny that they started at 4.
Yes. Went from 4 to 8 and now unlimited. The original reasoning it was limited in the first place was because of server issues or infrastructure or something
Yes.
along those lines. But yeah, I'm glad they figured it out because trials not being unlimited always felt very silly.
Maybe
So,
like they were worried that people would just spam the crap out of trial modes.
I
So
mean, they
like
can
it
still
was
do that
just
though, right?
overly cautious.
I think trial modes as a feature is relatively unpopular to use amongst most players, right?
Yeah, because who is doing tests about setups and like HL solos? Like I
Like
feel
it,
like the people that do that is incredibly low.
yeah, I agree. So like the majority of the player base probably don't touch this feature, but for the people who are really like involved with testing things or just making new setups are gonna use this a lot or practicing. And I think for those people it's good. So maybe they overestimated how much server things it would take. But I also think like if the issue was that like they worried too many people would use it, that could still be an issue now. So I feel like they figured something out in the back end. Otherwise, it wouldn't be shipped. So yeah. All right. On the same day, we get artifact storage increase.
Yay! Woo! I love artifacts so much. They make my gameplay so much better.
You sound so enthusiastic and
I'm
sarcastic.
so excited.
I think I've been pretty outspoken about artifacts, I feel. And I was saying on
I
stream yesterday that unless this 2,500 number is just a really, 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 really big number that we can just never reach, I feel like this doesn't solve the issue. And like this is just a band-aid.
like I feel like I manage my artifacts decently. Like I every time an artifact drops, I mark it in that instant, whether it's trash, whether it's okay, or if it's like really good, super keep, whatever. But like you still end up with so many because there's so much potential to artifacts. There's so many different combinations. And as a player who cares about, even to my level, who I would say is not that high compared to other players, who cares about like min-maxing, getting certain thresholds and whatnot, you just end up with a billion artifacts because you have to keep them for those situations because those situations will come up. They will.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that is the inherent issue with artifacts. There's too many combinations that are potentially useful. You just there's too many combinations that you have to keep in mind, and it's just so much work to keep sorting them, to go through every week, even if you don't do it every week and it just piles up. It's just like this burden that is constantly growing, like this pile of trash essentially is just building up in front of your door and you have to deal with it sooner or later. So 2,500 cap in your inventory delays that issue, but it doesn't remove that issue entirely. There was some other artifact related news that we'll get to at the bottom of this list, which has to do more with the actual problem at play, I think. But I don't know. I think like unless there is just some way that the game knows, hey, this artifact is useful or hey, this artifact is not useful, which is impossible for it to do. There's like no winning here if we are going to keep dropping artifacts. Your inventory will fill up. I don't know. I still think they should just drop pith instead of artifacts.
Yeah, I feel like there's like they're not even like making money out of this. Like at least for like inventory, you can like pay to increase your inventory or something. But like, what is the point of just like slowly increasing the cap every couple months? I don't know.
What I'm hoping is that these are band-aid solutions while they figure out a better way to do things.
They should have figured that out before they shipped it.
I mean, I agree with you there.
Stop increasing the like the beacon buff.
Yes, that's not
Stop
necessary at
doing
all.
that. I don't want more.
I'll play devil's advocate slightly here. I think when this was announced, we didn't foresee how useful, or not even when it was announced, but after the release, we didn't fully understand how useful or impactful the artifacts would be from a min-maxing standpoint, I think. Like 5 buffs, for example, I think like we didn't realize how powerful that is until much later on. So maybe like this is by no means like an excuse because they should have tested and things like that, but like I feel like they essentially underestimated how many potential things are good. Because I don't think you ship this system as it currently is unless you just had a misunderstanding, basically.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like anybody who is invested enough to Granblue to worry about artifacts, probably none of those people care about the actual organization of said artifacts. They probably don't mind artifacts as like a equipping thing on your character that is random stats or whatever. But the actual organization part, I'm sure nobody actively enjoys doing that, is the thing. But yeah, we'll talk about artifacts more when we get to the other thing, I guess at the bottom of the page. But yeah. All right. Skyscope mission starting on August 16th. We get a sand, we get a sunstone. Also, important to note is that we got a sunstone from our summer stream yesterday, which is unusual. I think I was
Now we have
told.
2 sunstones. What are we
We
gonna
get
do
2
with that?
sunstones.
They should use them for evokers again.
I'll probably save them for evokers, just probably because I think they'll use them.
They should use 2 instead.
So yeah, summer stream giving sunstone is something that hasn't been done for a while, so I'm glad we're getting it. Yeah.
And they spoiled the update for later by removing any ads from the missions and replacing it with Odious.
Exactly, yeah. So these now do Odious in the missions, which I think is a good change. It's a much more useful rate to farm than any ads. All right, August Flash on the 16th. Payila,
What a
6
stacked banner.
and Tartman. It is pretty stacked. So 6, we're expecting Earth because of the event. Payila and Tartman, we don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you think?
Up until we saw the stats on the zodiac elements, I thought like Payila could be light.
Okay.
Couldn't really see any other element. Maybe dark. That's about it. But Zodiacs only have 1 fire alt currently, and that's Kumbira.
And that was like the first one, right? One of the first ones.
Yeah, they should just give me Payila instead. I think Dark and Light has gotten enough things.
I see. But yeah, fire only has 1 seasonal zodiac, and every other element has. I think there's an element with 2, right? Actually, I wrote it down earlier. I forgot. It is fire 1, water has 4, earth has 2, wind has 2, light has 3, dark has 3. So yeah, water has the most at 4. So yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I wouldn't mind Earth Payila, but just because 6 exists, I'm like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I think because of 6, Payla's probably not Earth. All right.
I'll take double Earth. I'll take double Earth. It's fine.
You'll take double Earth. Okay. That. All right, Tartman. What do you think? I don't think win.
See, I don't think win because They got Bastet,
Exactly.
and I feel like this is way too close to Bastet.
Hmm.
I want to say light,
I'm leaning light as well.
even though they also got Mars recently. I don't know. It feels light like.
Was this the last banner before Likeable?
I have no idea. I'm gonna full auto like Guild War.
Hmm.
When is Guild War?
Or is there one more banner?
Guild War is September 21st.
Oh, we
So
have like
you
two more banners.
get,
We have two
yeah,
more
you
banners.
get Leg and Flash.
We haven't got
I
that
think
looming light thing before Likeable, basically.
I think Light's gonna get a perma banner before Guild War, which
With the
is gonna
summon,
be
the
rough.
skill cap.
Yeah, the AC summon or
Yeah.
whatever how you're supposed to say it.
Yeah.
And, potential light grand as well. So I don't know. I want to say light because no wind, but I don't know. I don't really see any other element. It'd be kind of funny to do dark. It's nighttime, so it's a dark summon.
That's such a bad reason.
Like you can't these things you just can't predict the element based on anything besides like loose vibes
Yes,
and previous releases.
exactly. I do agree with that. But I will say, among my years of streaming, I've heard too many summer characters being predicted as water because there's water in the image.
She has a blue shawl, so she's water.
What about she has blonde hair, so she's light? She has a gold bikini, so she's light. Thoughts?
No, that means she's Earth.
Oh, okay. What about the red tube?
Fire.
It's got to be, right? All right. Anyways, that's our predicting segment done. Oh, and Flash is changing to midday. Yay. I like
Oh
that.
my god, thank you.
Midday, I think midday galas are way better. I've always loved Legend timing so much more than Flash timing, so I am glad. I'm glad that they're doing
Like,
this.
so banners would drop at 3 a.m. my time, at Pacific time, which also means for the rest of America, it's like 5 and 6 a.m. So nobody's staying up for that.
What about Mountain
And you
Time?
also, nobody cares about on time. That's not even a real time. You also have to wait for the confirmation. So you don't even know if Flash is happening, and they have been evil in the past where
Yep.
they just stalled Flash until what was the Lamorak scam banner? It was like the 21st or something.
Yeah, that was really bad.
It was
I'll look it up.
really late.
Lamorak was... That was so mean. Lamorak came out...
It wasn't the one he released. It was
No, it wasn't,
it
yeah.
was the banner because they
It was
were
a collab, right? It was a collab one.
they pushed it back so they wouldn't put Lamorak on the guaranteed new like promo for Guild War.
Yes, yes.
I don't even remember who came out on that banner. We could probably check.
I'm checking Oriona at the
Best
moment.
team.
Does Echoes have
It
dates?
was. mm, Oh, it was like a general banner,
Yeah,
right?
so it was like nothing new on it. That's what it was. There was nothing new on the banner.
Oriona would probably have that one. Oriona.
I think it was October, right?
Yeah,
Maybe?
it was. It was. I think November actually.
Or was it November? November 20th. 20th, I think. I think I found it. November 20th. That's when Flash was.
Ridiculous. That's so funny and evil.
Very, very evil. Yeah, they had a banner 3% banners on November 14th, which is early for Flash, so it wasn't expected. But November 16th, they just skipped. They went not on 16th. They just had a character rate up then. All right. Anyways, next. Side story Dragon Blood War. I hope to see a sequel soon for this one. And then on August 19th, we get main story quest. There was some cool teasers in that trailer. We saw Raziel, we saw Magus, we saw some
saw a new draft character.
Yeah. We saw
I'm
some
excited.
new characters. I like the witch
But no,
design.
Mia Mint. Where's my playable Mia Mint?
Yeah, they didn't. Okay, so they didn't tease like a playable character like last time. So whether that means there is no playable or whether they're hiding it, we're not sure. But I feel like if Mia Mint was playable, they would hide that.
Yeah. I would like if they hid it, even though I would probably find out maybe like a day or so beforehand. But I would like that.
Yeah. I do wonder if Belle is shown in the main story quest.
We'll see. Where's my playable Belle too?
Yeah. All right, and then we get Foz in the adventures.
I don't want that.
All right. August 21st, Records of the 10. 25th, new Manatura. New Manaturas. We get the Hexamino. The design's really cute. This is funny because we saw the mini Hexa in Relink.
You literally call it the Mina.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Mino face.
That's what I call it. And then we get Octavia as well. Octavia's gotten a lot of stuff, right? I wasn't
really
expecting like the official cast Octavia so soon. So yeah, popular character. The Hexa one you can get from the raid and you can trade with Provenance crystals. And then the Octavia one is from Alchemy Lab. We don't know any more specifics other than that.
I expect it's just like Ouroboros. You just buy it with the fragments.
Hexa, I'll probably try farming before I buy it with crystals. Because it's probably going to be a lot of crystals. Do you think Hexa is going to be like... what am I trying to say? I was thinking like initially like the bullets where like no, but then it drops. It doesn't make sense if you had to spend like a sand or something to buy it. If it just drops anyways.
Yeah. I expect like 200 crystals.
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot
to buy it, which is like a substantial amount.
Yeah. I expect a lot. Any hopes from these Manaturas?
I expect the effect to be like the Hexa rifle bullet to just do multi-element damage.
That'd be cool, yeah.
And then I expect the Octavia one to just be like the nukes that she does after pressing her S3.
Oh, okay. I was thinking more defensive.
Well, they all do like skill damage on hit. So she could have like a more defensive passive effect.
Yeah. But I was just thinking like the green shield thing around them. The Monitor itself, and her S3 is like the wall of the puppets coming up, right? I don't know. I'm excited. All right, new character CD in Zeta coming out with a skin.
Did you buy your CD yet?
No, I haven't. I might wait till the I'm not in a rush to get this. There's the what's the other CD coming out with a skin as well? Oh no, there's no skin. The Zodiac one. I might wait for the Zodiac one, which is in December, I think.
Oh, you're not getting the other one?
What's the other one?
Lamarck and Gawain.
I might pass on that one. Are you getting that one?
You might pass. No, I think I'll wait for that one. I'll wait.
Oh, you'll wait
quite
for
a
it. Oh, quite a bit. What if it has like the best sticker in the game?
It's not going to.
All right, Tanya SSR.
Sure. I know a couple people who are excited for that.
She was useful at one time for the delay on dodge delay. We talked about
Yeah,
delay on this podcast recently.
the Belial solo with
Yeah.
her. Oh my god.
I think my prediction here, based on recent FLBs, is that she's going to become like just a bit of full auto character. Probably will be useful in Guild War FA. If she gets Dispel on this dodge, it'd be very good as well.
I'm expecting Dispel, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's sort of what I'm expecting. All right, new EX poses.
Way more than we expected, and
Normally we get
somehow didn't get
yeah.
a single one right.
Yeah, so for our stream, we made a bingo and we guessed 3 characters and we missed on all of them. What did we say? We said Eustace, Vajra,
Vajra, and
Mirren, right?
Mirren, yeah.
Yeah. But instead,
I
they went
kind
with
of expected
Sieg.
Medusa and Clarice. I expected Sieg, I guess.
Okay.
Even though he already got one. But
Right,
I
he
definitely
has one.
expected Medusa and Clarice.
Anyways, yeah, these are just new poses for the summer characters. So Sieg, Shalem, Medusa, Clarice, and Neza. What's your favorite out of these ones?
I like the Clarice one because I don't really like her other arts for this outfit.
Right. I like Art 1 better than Art 2. And I would say I like this one more than Art 2, so yeah. I'm surprised the Medusa one doesn't have the primal pulse. Like Neza's one does, but Medusa didn't.
Yeah, switch them around, please.
But yeah, the Neza one with the primal powers in the background is very cute. These 3 there. All right. Good morning. Hello, Colin. The quality of life update. Boxing events, Damascus crystal stock. Starting with the end of month story. This month, Dharma crystals will be the amount that you can get is uncapped. So previously, you could only get it from boxes 4 to 10, I think. But now you can get it.
So it's been years since I had that.
Now you can just,
which is like,
get
it's
all
a
of them.
good update because a lot of early game stuff use them. So
Yes.
like, if you want them, you can get them. They're definitely not used in that same way anymore for late game stuff. So I feel like that's part of the reason they just uncapped it.
I think this is really good because like Dharma crystals we know is a big early game block. With just how many things needed. I know from helping people who started on the Steam release that where do I get Dharma crystals is a very common question. And the fact that you can trade one of the really hyper rare mats for it. What is it? You can
You can definitely do
stones.
4 symbols.
Yep. I've had to answer so many times why this is not a good idea. So the fact that you can just get all the ones you're missing now is really, really, really good. A very, very good catch-up mechanic change, basically. All right, Exo Korra Crucible here. Nothing too much to talk about. Rise of the Beasts. Rerun as well. Right, September 15th, we get a damage and hit amount display in the battle log. I think this is really good. This is a very, very good change.
There's so many times I'm just like, I have no freaking idea how much I do. I'm just going to send. And then I was wrong.
Yep. I've done exactly the same thing. Like so many omens that require hit counts and you just have no idea of how many hits you're doing. Like you still won't know until it's too late here, but at least now you learn. And I think this is the big difference. Now it's like, oh, I know that if I attack, in general, I'll do about X amount of hits. Where before it'd be like, I'm guessing, I have no idea. So this is very, very, very good. And the damage as well. The fact that we needed bookmarklets to know how much damage you did previously is nuts. And you had to guess based off your honors, essentially.
Yep, pretty much.
All right. Tale of Kindled Bonds is September 16th, added to side stories. This is essentially like a slight prequel event to Old Bonds. So I recommend checking it out if you liked Old Bond. And then September 18th, we get Belmerfolk and Zamovok.
Just Belm.
Oh, right. Sorry.
For
September
18.
is, Belmerfolk, and October is Zamovok. My bad.
Yay! Odious weapons.
Odious weapons. And this will be before Dark War. So we can farm these up before Dark War, which is expected to be in November at the moment. Do you like the designs?
Belmerfolk look exactly the same.
Just a bit redder.
just more like evil crystals, I guess. Zamovolk looks different because the face itself changed.
Yeah, he gets like a mask now, like a witch doctor mask.
And a lot more red. So interesting. I like the ODS series, so I'm excited.
I want to see the full art. Okay, hold up. Before we move on, do you think, you know how Belma, when it released, it was like the easy Odious compared to Nihui? Do you think that'll be the same here?
Oh, shoot. I don't want to do water Ogi. Ew. Oh, no. I'm not excited anymore.
we might be able to gun it. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No, I feel like we'll be able to gun it.
I feel like they're gonna make it really hard to gun at the start.
So like sort of like World when it released.
Yeah, I feel like they want you to kind of do Ogi, at least at the start.
Cajun said the stacks give bargain down.
In Belmerfolk,
yeah.
I don't know any of the mechanics in these raids. I think I only know Makutan, kind of.
Makutan, yeah. No, I think Gun will be fine, honestly.
I hope so. I just want my weapons.
All right. Mastery Raid series, we get to use full elixirs. I think this is nice. I think especially in like EMT and VMT, if you're just full autoing, sometimes you can just die when there's like 5% HP left.
Explode.
Yeah. So just being able to full elixir and rejoin is good. I still think that the host mat for these raids is like one of the worst things they've ever done, and they really should change it. They should change this
awful.
/ they should just change the little menu that pops up when you're like, I'll just show it on stream, but this menu I think needs an entire revamp. Like when you click an item, this menu needs to change. Because like it doesn't actually tell you useful information. You click get from quest and it's like, oh, okay, but this is like not the only places to get them, right? It doesn't tell you which one's the best one either. And then when you click get by treasure trade, it's only these options when there's more options, and especially the pendants, because the pendants has renown and prestige pendants for at least the distinctions, which I think is a big deal. So like for these ones, I already hosted, so I can't see. But when you click the distinctions, it only shows the prestige pendant option when you would prefer to actually use the renown one. So I think that menu just needs to change entirely. But I also think the host mat for this needs to just
not be 6 different mats.
And
the worst part,
awful.
like I get mats, like the host mats from somewhere, so all my mat counts are uneven like all the time.
Yep.
So it drives me crazy.
Yep. And it's also the fact that like some mats like overlap, right? So like you might, let's say you just buy 10 or 20 or however many of each, but then like one of them is like used in 2 raids. So yeah.
They shouldn't be. Let me see.
No. One of them overlaps. I'm positive. At least one of them overlaps.
Well, I haven't done mine because I don't like doing these raids. Let me see. Okay, apparently cannot have 2 screenshot windows open. Lumberjack.
Lumberjack, is that the one? Forester is on 2, yeah. Ranger and Lumberjack overlap, yeah.
That explains why I have the least amount of those.
Yeah. So you host, and then like you run out of one more, and then it's. Please change it.
Oh my god.
All right, Guild War. We get the boss reveal. It's an evil bunny plush, and then the big change is that we're getting artifacts can drop from the nightmare bosses.
That's nice. It's a nice change because you would otherwise have to stop Guild War
Yes.
or like farm in like the hour after weekly reset before round start to get like all of your artifacts.
Yeah.
So
to clarify, that is just the artifacts that are drop rate like up. So like the Sky Scent Beacon, I think it's called. So normally that's 50, I think, without premium pass. So essentially those 50 you can get from Guild War. And with Guild War being a week-long event, this is really nice so that you don't have to worry about farming them outside, just like Omikan said. All right. September 28th, Farewell Cold Heart. So we got a whole ass trailer for this as well, for this event.
I was expecting like this being a grand character release with like nothing else.
Yes, that's what I was expecting.
But you know, it was a whole event trailer, so that's exciting.
Yeah. So this is so recently Granblue has been doing half anniversaries, and September is the half anniversary. And they're doing a big trailer for the half anniversary event as well. And they're also putting a very big story arc on the half anniversary event timing. So I feel like we're trying to push half annie a lot more now.
Yay, spend more money.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if they're gonna do more things than just event, or if they're gonna maybe do more freebies. Like last year, I think we've had just more, and we've had a bit more freebies, I think too, right? At least we've gotten some things, but we got
some freebies.
Yeah, but at the very least, what we do remember is that they've done more purchasable things here as well lately.
This was the paid weapon grid,
yes.
right? I think they did that for half annie.
I think there was also like the 5,000 packs that came with like a sunstone, I think.
Yep, those are half annie packs.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll see. I think my biggest question is whether this event will be like our standard regular end of month event, or if it's gonna be
really long.
Yeah, or if it's gonna be longer, or if it's gonna be slightly different structure. Like I'm not expecting parts because it releases on the 28th, like a regular boxing event. But I'm wondering if it's like just something extra on top than regular events. That's my question, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. We're definitely going to see a different Vasaraga though, right?
Absolutely.
I'm glad because I don't really like the fire Vasaraga design.
I
think the
look the
dark one's
same.
so
All
much
this
better.
stuff looks the same. He just looks really bulky in the fire one. He at least has his body still showing in the dark one.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't like the mask in the fire one. I like. Oh, and I don't like the sprite. That's the other thing I don't like. I don't like
What's
the fire
wrong with
one
the
sprite. It looks funky. I don't know.
Looks a little goofy.
Yeah, it looks goofy. Like I much prefer like the dark sprite. So yeah. Either way, I'm glad we're getting a continuation on the storyline. All right. From September, we're getting monthly sandbox campaigns, and what we've been told is that this is like a rotating thing. Every month, it will feature like different evokers. And from what they were talking about, essentially, it sounds like mini Tales of Arcarum every month for certain evokers. So more catch-up mechanics, essentially. I think it's a good thing.
It's kind of like what I was expecting. They're gonna kind of retire the limited Tales of Arcarum and possibly introduce like an Evoking Solomonis event in the future. So that this kind of is setting up to clear that spot for something, maybe.
You reckon they'll do that? Like get rid of
I
Tails? And then
Yeah, I absolutely
okay.
think so.
So I guess in that event they would make it so you don't need the Evoker fourth skill to do the mode, just like how Tails didn't require you to have, what was it? Tails, like normally Sandbox is locked out, but during Tails everybody can do it, I think.
Tails, you just need to unlock Sandbox, which requires an Evoker, I think.
Yeah.
Which
by the
everyone
way,
can easily
everybody
get now.
Yeah, everyone can get one now because and you is in side stories.
Yeah. So I think they might do maybe one more run. I don't know. I feel like one more run would take a long time to finish up of Tales, because we're already like almost halfway through the Evoker Transcendence.
Yeah,
So
with the announced
I don't know.
stuff in
Maybe
October.
they just don't do a second, or like they do a sped up version, because last time they did Katselia and Maria and Kaim. So they just bundle them together for like a last run. We'll see.
All right. In September, we get new skips. We get the Ennead skip.
Thank God. Awful
And
rates to do.
and we get a new skip setting that allows you to skip multiple skips all at once to skip more skips. Skip Pro.
It's nice for this because I have an add-on that just is essentially easy bookmarks for me to go through all my skips every day.
Right.
That's the only thing I use it for.
It's just a list of all the skips.
It's just easy to click links for each skip. That's it. So now
Yes.
I don't have to do that.
I was worried that when they first showed this, it would be like you have to skip all of them. It's like all or nothing, but thankfully they clarified that you get to essentially choose. So if you don't want to do EXO, if you don't want to do Xeno showdowns, then you can untick that. If you don't want to do the granny tier, then you can just untick that. So this will be crazy for leveling characters. Like you just click it once and then like you just get the XP bar moving. I guess it's once a day, or I guess how would they do that?
What do you mean?
Like some skips are only once a day, whereas some might be like twice or 3 times.
Well, we'll just do the eligible ones.
Maybe you just select how many times you want to do it when you set it up as well. Either way.
We'll see.
Either way, good change. All right. October, I was surprised by this. I'm glad it's happening. I'm surprised.
It's such an this basically has happened a single time in the entirety of Granblue's lifetime. So it's very surprising to see it happen again.
So what we got announced in October are some collab reruns, starting with Gintama, and we have My Hero Academia. And these are happening back to back, a week from each other. So October 7th to October 14th. And yeah, there's no new content, so no new characters or anything. They're just rerunning it for people who missed it. I imagine it will be like a similar rerun for anybody who's already played the event. I don't believe Gintama had missions, right? But My Hero Academia did. I don't remember Gintama having missions.
I don't think Gintama had them.
Yeah, so I think the question right now is whether My Hero will do the missions again. I think they will, because the missions was how you got some of the stickers and things like that.
Well, they could just put those in other ways to
I guess
get
they could
them.
just put it in the shop, to be fair, yeah. But then the missions also give out good stuff, so I guess the question is whether you can get it if you've already gotten it, or if they're going to do the missions in the first place, or they're going to move it to somewhere
Sorry,
else.
guys. Maybe you should have started playing in 2024.
So notably, both of these are Jump, like Shonen Jump ones. So, do we have other Shonen Jump ones that haven't been
Jujutsu, is
rerun?
that Jump?
I'm not sure. I know One Piece is though.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's a big one, yeah. Chat, what's
Maybe they just didn't want to do a bunch at once.
I imagine sorting out the contracts and things for these take time to do, so yeah. And yeah, like there's a lot of things here which I would imagine a lot of people want rerun. So JJK, One Piece.
It's kind of exciting because I hope they go to the old ones that I missed.
Oh, like the
Back
really
in
old
the
ones,
day.
yeah.
The really old ones.
Yeah,
Because they went back for Card Captor.
they did. Yeah.
Obviously, it was probably for a different reason.
Yeah,
but
so just to touch on that, the only other time we've had a rerun is for Code Geass, Cardcaptor Sakura, and Persona. And the funny thing about that was that based on what happened, we expect that they only reran those to take out licensed music. And it was a way to update the collab so that they could get rid of the licensed music. So I'm wondering, based on that information, and we've discussed this, this looks like they're preparing for the Steam client. Like these two new reruns for My Hero and Gintama.
and that's the collabs are like a really big critique that everyone has of the Steam. So they're definitely putting effort into getting those for players.
Yeah. I'm wondering what happens to the side story ones, because those are realistically the only ones that have mattered until now for the Steam client. But either way, I'm glad that they're bringing back all of these collabs.
It's
I
such
hope to see more. Yeah.
It feels bad to be like, oh, I don't have Deku passive. How do I get it? Sorry, you can't. You just you're never getting that.
Yeah.
There's no way to get that. So now you have a second chance.
What's a collab you missed that you really want?
Probably the Idolmaster one. Sorry, I'm lame.
The SR ones, the really early ones.
Like the Idolmaster ones are the part, like a big reason why I started Granblue.
Right.
So
Fair enough.
let me see. I don't think there's really anything else.
For me, I
Attack
really
on
want
Titan
Attack
for
on
the
Titan.
skin.
Yeah, I want Attack on Titan for the skin. That's my hope that we get Attack on
Yeah,
Titan.
I started a couple months after Attack on Titan, so
I was
did not
hoping
get that
so
one.
hard when the final season of Attack on Titan was happening. I was really hoping that they would rerun the collab or do a second part or something in Granblue. All right.
Oh, you didn't get Jehudi. You
Oh, I
want
don't
that
have
one? Do you want
Jehudi.
Jehudi?
I'm
They can
okay
rerun
with Jehudi.
Jehudi.
No, I'm okay with Jehudi.
It's an animated home screen. It's very cool.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't need that one. I started. When did I start? I started on this. This was my first collab, the Kaido one, the Cinderella Fantasy.
Ooh, the Gachapin and Muku collab.
I missed
I don't know
Gachapin.
about that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, I don't think that one's happening. I don't think Psy Games is working with them. Again, we'll see. Cello Girl was the thing I had over Ormikin for ages, or Augusta. I imagine Demon Slayer
They should
is
run.
Jump as well, right?
Is it? It should be, right? It's a big
Yeah.
one. All the big ones are Jump.
Yeah, many of the big ones are Jump, so. Demon Slayer might get a rerun too with its final season. Maybe. Either way,
We
this
could just do Demon Slayer too.
Either way, this rerun brings up a lot of hopes, I think, for some of these other collabs that you might have missed, that people might have missed. So it's exciting. Very exciting news. Okay, October 28th, we have a character CD, Feather Randall. Let's just skip past that. October, we have Ranger Origin.
Don't you mean Ranger?
Ranger Origin. There was a couple typos. Or at least there was 2 typos, right? It was the Lord of Flost and Ranger Origin. But this one was funnier because it was like in a big trailer. They intern Kun's getting fired, I guess.
Stop! They're the only English speaking person on the team.
All right. I've been asked, what am I expecting for this class? And it's hard to answer because I think Ranger as a class line is sort of weird, right? They do a bit of skill damage.
This is the Nighthound line, right?
Yeah, it is. So they have some swap mechanics, like going to sub allies, swapping out characters. They're a very techie class from both like a debuff standpoint. Like they do weird debuffs. They swap around characters. They don't really have like a normal attack or a charge attack identity. If anything, I would say they're more skill damage focused in the past anyways. So it's hard to imagine what they'll do. But we do know that they will be using bows and guns. So that immediately brings up Hrisvelga. And Hrisvelga's like a decent weapon for Boogeyman. Like it's not particularly noteworthy. And I feel like that's gonna be the same here. What I'm wondering is Mercy, because like with Mercy double activating skills,
I think Mercy is gonna be for this class.
Yeah, like okay, well, if Mercy isn't for this class, I think I don't know what to say.
I don't know what they're doing if they don't make it for this.
If this isn't for Mercy, I don't know what. Yeah, what are they doing? So yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure what to expect.
I have a feeling this is like people thought Wizard Origin was bad. I feel like people are gonna say this class is not worth the materials or whatever.
I can see that. I think it's gonna be a lot more straightforward. I don't even know.
I feel like this class is, like you said, it's more like a specialist or like technical class. Like it's not like I'm going to run Ranger for most content. Like you're just not doing that.
Do you think this class will have a permanent buff, infinite skill, unlimited skill, or whatever?
No.
I almost feel like the Wizard Origin one would have fit well on this class.
Yeah, I feel like a Qilin skill would be really good on this one, but they already did that, so...
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's just Robin Hood skill. That's what we're thinking about, right?
Yeah, but you can't use that on this class.
Yeah. What can you use on this class? The Nighthound ones, right?
Swap.
You can use swap, you can use change.
Yay! Time on target.
Time on target. You can use homing beacon, stealth protocol, and rearguard relocation. Oh man. Yeah. I don't know. This class is gonna be. I feel like this class is gonna be very technical, and I think by design it's gonna be a bit more niche. Because I would argue that the 3 that we've gotten so far are pretty like.
They're very good generalist class.
Like sort of universal. Like FO you can chuck in many places. Oftentimes it's not going to be the best, but it's always going to be decent. I feel like the same with Lancer and Wizard as well.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I honestly feel like I don't really use Fighter Origin that much anymore.
Yeah, I've
gone back to Mana Diver 2. So
yeah, for me, like I tend to use Lancer in a lot of my things. Just because it gets online much faster than FO. So yeah, Yeah, we'll have to see. Either way, I'm expecting more skill focused, but maybe
Well, I
that's
don't
just
have
me thinking from
so-
Mercy's perspective. One other consideration here is that Herc is not a bad weapon, right?
No,
Like
just worse
Hercules,
Mercy.
yeah, Hercules is not like a bad weapon. It's a pretty good weapon, and always on bow classes, Hercules is a consideration too. So I do wonder if we see the return of some Herc strats.
I don't have that weapon though, so no, please.
All right, Zamavok we talked about. We'll move on. October, Tower of Babel. I'm excited for this. It's the skin that you were talking about earlier.
Yep,
We
very
get
cool.
so with this introduction of Babel, they're going to make it permanent. You have to have done 000 in side stories to access it, which makes sense. It happens after 000 story. And from this update, you'll be able to get a skin, which is based off Bubs's golden armor skin, which we saw in the relink version. Very cool.
I'm excited because they're finally adding, quote, difficult to get skins after many years of not adding them. That's my favorite thing to do in the game. I've always liked getting like the really difficult unlocks. So, like the blue 10 was my goal for the longest time. The weapons of eternal splendor. Uh, Unfortunately, I already did 90% of this mode, so it's not going to be it's not going to feel the same, but it's still a really cool skin, so I'm excited.
Translation for what Omikin just said is that Omikin likes gatekeeping people and likes having skins that nobody else has.
I think they should make it cost 3 sunstones. Like, you can unlock the ability to trade for it, but they should make it cost 3 sunstones.
Okay. All right.
And 500 valor badges.
That's enough ideas from you. All right. Anyways, from this, we also get the enemy skills system. So the Bubs one is confirmed here. We're going to be able to learn Chaos Legion. What we have been told about this is that to equip these skills, they have like a cost, which works similar to Arcarum Blessings in Evoking Solomonis. So like Chaos Legion might cost 5 out of 10, and then like Paradise Lost might cost 7. We don't know. I'm making up numbers, right? But they're gonna cost something, and they're not a skill that you click like usual, but it's a skill that triggers when certain conditions are met. So like Chaos Legion might be like when the boss gets, I don't know, when the boss is in below 25% HP or something, you know, something like that. What would be a crazy condition? I'm just thinking about this. Imagine if you get Chaos Legion into spells and it's like whenever the boss has like 3 buffs or something. There's no way that happens, but like.
I'm thinking for other effects like Paradise Lost and Cara Magnifico. I feel like those are harder to like imagine the condition because Bubs, like we have Bubs summon, we have Bubs raid. Like a lot of his stuff revolves around dispelling and buffs and buffing you. So I like they could do something similar. Like boss gets a couple buffs, you do a couple charge attacks, which raises your trance level internally. Whatever, I don't know. Like you could name a couple things for Bubs, but Siete, I don't know. Paradise Lost?
Paradise Lost
Something
on
similar
entry.
to 000? That would be so funny.
Imagine if PL is on entry and we can scale it to the point where you're like 0 buttoning just on entry. That'd be really funny. But yeah, basically the more you use the skill, it will level the skill up. In the preview, it was so funny because there was like this mini Chaos Legion.
I
think,
thought like that was just how it was. It looks so small.
yeah,
I'm like, oh, they just scaled it because MC is doing it, not Bubs. But then they showed the upgrades.
yeah. So like the first time they showed it, it's like this small, tiny black ball that just hits the dummy, and then like the next one was like the Bub's call, and then the third level was like the full-on animation. So
It
it
was
was
like King's Religion, Chaos Legion animation.
yeah. So the more you use it, the level of the skill will go up, but the cost will go down as well. Just like our current blessings, basically. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this is. I'm excited for this system in general because I think it'll be cool. I do wonder if it's gonna, just because Granblue is the type of game that where this sort of thing matters. I do wonder if like some of these animations are too long to be useful or something. You know what I mean?
Well,
But
surely they have good. I feel like the early ones are going to have animations too long and the effect isn't worth it.
yeah,
But later on, I
I feel
think
like they have
they
to.
could
They're
be
gonna make it worth it.
optimized.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I'm just excited to see what other skills they bring and what Chaos Legion does.
Wait, they
Mm,
could. I just thought about it. Like they're gonna do the upgrade steps for Paradise Lost and Card Magnifico. I wonder how those are gonna look.
true.
Hmm.
Interesting.
I'm excited.
All right, Solomonis gets an update. So we talked about Solomonis a lot last week. I'm glad these changes are happening. All of these sound really good. Basically, they're making it so that there's multiple difficulty levels. There's going to be 5 different difficulty levels. We don't know what our current difficulty is, but I think our current one being 3, like the middle one, makes the most sense to me. What do you think?
I can imagine like 2 to 3. Yeah, like they definitely have an easier version. But I feel like they could definitely scale it up quite a bit.
Yeah. Um, because one of the main criticisms of this mode, which I think is fair, is that it feels really difficult at the start, and even like even if you know what you're doing, like you might just it's really hard to get consistent runs until you get Hanged Man, or like until you're more familiar with the mode, which basically is sort of demoralizing because you're losing so much at the start, right? So this change makes it so that you might be able to just scale the difficulty down if you're not having fun, so you can get through the mode quicker. And the great thing that they also said is that it doesn't matter what difficulty you're playing on, you get you get Transcendence mats regardless. You're not locked out of Transcendence by doing an easier difficulty.
Great update. Making this mode more accessible is something that I basically feel like I knew they were going to do eventually. And I feel like this might be in response to the initial release, but I'm glad they are doing it because
I think it is.
accessibility is a great thing.
Yeah, like I'm
So,
sure they received a lot of feedback, and like I'm not familiar with the Japanese side of things because I can't read Japanese, but like at least on the English side, like many of the things was because hey, I can't beat this mode, right? Or it's too RNG reliant, it's too whatever X, you can't do this mode, blah blah blah. And all of that essentially comes down to I'm losing, right? So by making the mode easier, then that addresses that concern at the very least, while you build up your blessings, while you build up your knowledge, while you build up maybe more characters or grid options if you feel like you're lacking them. So overall, good change, I think. Good update. Or good announced update, I should say. And then they're also making it so you can carry over a guidebook. I think we talked about this, where I felt like the blessing system was a bit undercooked because I feel like you should have been able to do something like this. But yeah, I'm glad they're doing this. Essentially, you can carry over a a rare guidebook if you won the previous run. I believe. Okay, so on the timeline it says only stackable for the lost one, but I think that applied for the rare one too. I think.
ask Colin because he did that one.
Okay. That's what I was told. I'm not sure. That's what the slide is translated to. Okay. Maybe stackable applies to both things though. either way, I think if it doesn't apply to the rare guidebook, there are some really powerful choices. We looked at the stackable list for rare, and there's still a couple good things there, but yeah, a lot of the really powerful rare guidebooks aren't stackable. Slide says both. Oh, okay, there we go. So yeah. But either way, this makes runs this makes it so that there's consequences for losing a run because you get less of a reward. But it also makes future runs easier as well, and I like that. So yeah. All right, in October we get our Evoker Transcendence, and we actually get 3. So we get Nier, Esther, and Fraux.
Oh my god. It makes sense that they did 3 because it finishes out the zones.
Yes, the allotropic microcosm here. Yeah. So I'm expecting a new boss and a new events and things in the next zone. So yeah, it 100% makes sense that they released Fraux in this batch. So very excited for this. I like all the new art as well. Are you happy with your Fraux design?
Currently on the fence.
Okay.
I'm very critical, as
Of course.
some people may know. I liked that they brought her twin tails back, because in the original design, that was what connected her to the devil. Like, it resembled the devil's horns. So, like, I feel like it was crazy that they took them out in FLB.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they brought those back. But the outfit design, it feels a little young for her, because like her base outfit and her FLB outfit feel very mature. This one feels a little on the, like, I don't know, like teen kid design wise.
Okay, yeah.
But also, like, I see that, like, it's obviously like Halloween style devil outfit.
Okay, yep. Yeah.
But like not my favorite, but like I am open to changing my mind later once I see other things. So like, I feel you just can't beat the base outfit. Like, I think the cloaks are awesome, and the base outfit is pretty good. So it's very hard to beat that. But you know,
I would love to
good.
see the concept art for whatever other ideas they had for the evokers.
I would love to see more concept art. They haven't done a book in like 3 years.
Do more books, Cygames. The art books are amazing. All right, and then we have the Nier and Esther ones too.
Nier surprised me. I didn't expect her to wear that.
It looks very priesty.
Yeah, it feels like kind of priesty, sagey. People are like, why is she holding a staff? Because like the overall look, she looks kind of like that. It's obviously a scythe, guys. But it does. I can see why you think staff.
I like the. My initial thought was it looked like a cane.
I can see where you see that.
I guess in my mind, scythes are much more Reaper's scythy. That makes sense. Like the blade part is too short in my mind to initially register as a scythe.
Yes. Like, it has the similar shape as the Cositus staff, which looks kind of like a scythe. But I kind of hope they let us use the other portraits in these arts, because I really like the Nier at the top.
Oh, that would be cool, yeah.
They're not going to do that, but
yeah,
you know.
I think the Payila thing is interesting.
Someone's pointed that out before. I didn't think too much on that.
Like, it feels like a very deliberate design choice. And I don't know.
It is obviously very deliberate.
Yeah.
I'm curious where that will show up.
Exactly. Like it's the skeletons in a circle, but I'm wondering why it's shaped like a gear. And then we have Esther.
I actually really like this outfit and design. I feel like I'm a little sad they've departed from Old Man Esta, but
Yeah.
I like this design separately.
I feel like just Old Man Esther isn't popular, which makes
He is
sense.
not. He is very much not. I have a plushie of Old Man Esta. I wish I didn't. But he was very unique in that sense. Like,
Yeah.
you know, he was his own thing. He wasn't my evoker, so I didn't care.
I do like the hat.
But
I like
I
the hat.
think Estarriola now is a potentially a likable design for some people.
Yep. And I'm sure that's why they went this route as well. I'm excited to do Wind Solomonis. I think it'll be fun. I'm thinking
I'm
about like
excited
Dark
to
and Fire as well. Man,
Arish every turn. Oh no. Oh no.
Well, I won't
Maybe
be doing that
it's
because I
not
don't
as
have
good.
Erish.
You can always buy. You have like a billion moons. Just buy it.
I don't.
You were considering it last time when you were debating between Murcielago and Arish.
It was one of
Insane
them.
that you were
Yes.
considering it.
I think the Sariel, you just get Sariel buff every fight.
Oh my god.
So triple strike turn 1.
And Nier is actually pretty decent frontline.
Yeah, like
her
even if you
skills
don't have skill
work.
4, at least you click S1 and you get Echo. You give guaranteed triple to someone. It's nice. Esther is also good frontline, but the main thing is that normally you want to do like turn mash, and turn mash is not good. But I think Wind has a lot of other characters that are good. At the very least, Esther does guaranteed like damage, which is nice. I think
Frau,
Frau is going to
I'm
feel.
worried about. She sucks frontline.
Frau
She's
feels.
really bad.
Yeah.
Half her kit just doesn't exist.
I think Fire has enough other things to be fine. Like, for example,
Thankfully,
Wizard
with this
Origin
is
with
the
Phoenix
Kingpin.
Torch. And
Oh, that's gonna clear a ton of stuff.
yeah, and like even a character like Percy, just as guaranteed triple, has a huge like strength buff from his unique icon, and then Echo as well.
Starts with
Rava's
it
always
every
just a
turn.
good character too. He has guaranteed triple and a nuke, even without clicking anything. So yeah, I think there are good enough options in Fire to not worry too much about it. Either way, all of these are coming in October. I think it's going to be hard to. I'm going to be tempted to do Nier just for Guild War to get rid of the Death Summon, and get the Wonder.
Depending on material costs, I will do Nier eventually. But if it is looking like these are too expensive and time locked, I'm not doing Nier. I'm sorry.
Looking at these vertical portraits, which were probably going to be very similar to our party portraits, I do like the Esther one a lot.
It's good.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the colors remind me of Wanderer from Genshin.
Yeah, it does a bit. Yeah, I can see that. All right, December 23rd, we get the Zodiac CD with the other missing Zodiacs. And then in January, we got Shaman King.
Are you excited for Shaman King?
I don't have a strong attachment to Shaman King like I would say I do with some of the other shonens that I've read or watched. It's still one, like for example, like to me, Zatch Bell. Like
Oh my god, if they do a Zatch Bell collab, that oh my god.
Yeah, like from this era, Zatch Bell like resonated, or resonate maybe isn't the right word, but like it's something I look back more fondly on. Shaman King was something I read during that time, but it didn't impact me as much, I guess.
Yeah, I read a couple volumes of Shaman King as a kid. So like and I also had like a Game Boy Advance game or something for Shaman King. So to me, I'm kind of excited because it's more of like a nostalgic excitement. Just
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh, I remember this character from the series. So like I'm not like super into it, but you know, cool to see.
I think
They
chat
should
was
do Naruto
pretty
though.
yesterday chat was pretty strongly agreeing that the main character here would be Earth. So because apparently he has a lot of
Sure.
Earth moves, like Edward, I think. So there's that, at least.
I don't know if there's any fire themed characters. Please
That
don't be any. Please, please, please.
the main antagonist is fire.
Shoot. Okay. This is right after New Year's.
Why does he have earmuffs that
Uh,
don't cover his ears? That is headphones, Cajun, as far as I recall. Those are headphones, and he's just taken them off. And so he's not listening to music at the moment. All right, Melodies of Wales. This is the CD that you're waiting for. You said earlier, right?
hmm. Yeah, I'll wait for all of eternity before I get it.
We have more zones coming to Adventurers, or Let's Go Adventurers, coming soon. Um, yeah, it's you don't interact with this mode much, so it's hard to sort of be excited for this. I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's just
It's a nothing mode.
yeah,
You click start and then you come back in like a day and a half.
and you just get some stuff. I almost wonder what the point of modes like this is, and I'm imagining it's just to help build up. Because at the end of the day, games with dailies or gotchas or whatever, they want you to log in every day. And I would imagine that this is
I'm
maybe
not
trying to achieve
logging
that.
in for
Yeah,
Burnwalker.
that's the thing though. Yeah, that's the point I was trying to make. Like, Vernwalker is not the reason I log in. And I would imagine for a lot of people, it's not the reason you log in.
If
So,
anything, I feel upset that I can't be like when my run ends, I can't start the next one
yeah, because you don't have
because
energy.
I don't have energy. Like
Yeah, they are
why?
raising the energy cap. They mentioned that here, but yeah. Either way, I do wonder what the point of this mode is. I feel like this mode is something that was originally planned to be bigger, but was scaled down. That's like the feeling I get whenever I interact with this mode. It was meant to be
Maybe I don't
something
even
bigger, but
I don't
yeah,
get even good items from this. I fish for the really rare Armilla. Everything else is like
yep, that's what I do.
this doesn't matter.
Sometimes I get Armilla, sometimes I get Pith, and I'm like, that's good enough. Um, all right, Evoker, Transcendence. Um, that's going to be coming in the future. New enemy skills. Oh yeah, this one's interesting. So they're introducing something that is going to make MCs unlock the EMP nodes automatically, as opposed to you having to allocate them. What I'm expecting personally is that they still have the same cap, but you just essentially set a preset, or like you choose it, and then it will apply that to all of your classes instead of you having to level it up for each class. That's what I'm expecting.
I can imagine that.
Because the alternate way to interpret this is that you just get all the nodes, and I don't think they would do that. And if they did do that, I hope that there's a way to disable nodes when you need to.
I can imagine you are able to disable certain nodes, but like you can just get the ones you need. And yeah, I think there would be a way to like apply it to all classes because the amount of times I just forget to do the new classes that come out.
Hmm. Yeah, like
I don't know.
recently I on my paladin I didn't have the 425 rank EMP node. So like it's very easy to forget, especially if it's a class you don't use much.
I always have to check to make sure if I'm like slightly short on damage. I'm like, did I remember to add for the new updates for this class? And I always have, and I can never get that last 1%.
Yeah. Either way, I would like to hope that we are not stuck with even more dodge rate on our MCs. So yeah.
Just stop doing setups that require not dodging.
That's not how Guild War works, though.
Just do a easier fight.
All right. Automatic journey drops. In a future update, players will be able to automatically set journey drops. Oh, was that the slide? I thought it was more that you don't have to click individually and you have like preset ones or something. So like you set like RP, XP, item drop rate, and then you just click. And then you get those three.
Might be. I don't know.
Either way, it's quality of life, journey drops. You think it's supposed to be like current crew buffs? Oh, okay. New party icons. This is nice.
Yay, I guess.
I was trying to make some new tabs recently and there was like nothing that represented what I wanted to do. So this is nice. That being said, I don't think none of these would work either, but yeah.
I use the Arcarum guidebook for my combined light and dark tab. I use the subby icon for Dark Rapture 0 and Hexa setups. So, new icons, sure.
Eternal Recruit Quest, a universal quest that makes recruitment of Eternals easier. I'm hoping, I think this was needed. I'm imagining that this will drop things like Flawed Prisms. And it'll be similar to the Bullet Quest. So anything from like the toilet paper mat to like other things that you need for the Eternals. It's going to be nice to get from here.
I don't even know what it's like to farm Eternals currently. Because I feel like they do kind of give away a lot of mats now compared to when we first started, where like you had to farm each one individually.
Yeah, I have no idea what the experience is like these days. Of course, compared to when we did, it's going to be infinitely better, but yeah, it's weird that only the Eternal Quest Pro existed and there was no like continuous way to farm it if you wanted. Oh yeah, this update. So items that you get from the gacha will now be marked. As such, there'll be some icon that will indicate whether it's from Classic 1 or whether it's from Premium Draw or whatever. I'm glad it's in the game. That's what I'll say.
It's so funny it took them this long to do that.
Yes, that's what I'm angry about. I'm mad that it took them this long, but I'm glad it's here now. Or not
Where
now,
am I
but
supposed
it
to
will
use
be
my
here
knowledge now?
now.
I can't beat that one saving grace for newbies. Be like, hey, all of these weapons are premium draw, and you should stash them.
The fact that the best way to figure it out, other than like, I remember when Steam release happened, it was very common for people to just send like a screenshot of the inventory, and then I remember like you were like marking, like color coding it. You were like,
Yeah.
you were like crossing it out in red or green to indicate this is gacha or this is farmable, to let people know what to reduce or what to reserve. Like, yeah, okay. So very good that we don't have to do that anymore. Artifact. Okay, so this is back to artifacts. Artifact skill usage indicator, and then the artifact crafting event. So basically, this is making it more obvious which artifacts are good. And I think ultimately this is a good, like this is healthy. Like this is something that's needed because it's a very
like
common,
the suggestions for artifacts.
Yeah.
Like oftentimes they are what the stats that I want to equip on characters. So it's nice.
So yeah, like having this info helps people understand like what is good and what is not, which is one of the biggest questions about artifacts. And it is one step closer to helping people organize their artifacts. But yeah, organization just needs to be way better. There's an event. This will allow you to craft 2 artifacts and essentially it sounds like you can make your own artifact like in a deterministic way, which is sort of crazy, to be honest.
Yeah, because they try to sell the armillas and the chisels and make them super limited, and they're just, hey, you can make your own artifact now. So
it's 2
interesting.
per event, which sounds very low, but with how important artifacts
We've
can
gotten
be.
like 2 chisels total.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm expecting this event to give chalices, artifact pith, like everything related to having to roll for artifacts. So
more chalices, please.
yeah. This
I think
one,
that's it.
yeah, I think I'm looking at this. I think just this one was announced, which is that when you have Skysent Beacon, you get more artifacts have a high drop rate. This is good. Sometimes it felt like it took way too long to get all your drop rate up artifacts. And yeah, that's it. Overall, what's your thoughts on Summer Stream?
Good. I feel like it announced a lot of content that will tide us over until the next stream, which is, I feel like, how these streams should be like.
Yep, I agree. I think it's a good and a bad thing, but I'm very excited for what's to come. But there's so many good things in October. I'm just like I'm waiting for October now.
It's gonna. I really hope there's nothing else going on in October in my life, so I can just like sit down and do all of these.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think there's any big game releases in October. We have Fire Emblem in September, but that's about it, I think.
You have Fire Emblem.
You're not gonna get it?
You can play it for me.
I
I've got Evokers to farm.
That's in September though. Like Fire Emblem is. And that's in October, the Evokers.
You think you're gonna finish Fire Emblem before October? All 16 paths of Fire Emblem that they're gonna have.
Okay, I don't know. We'll see, I suppose.
You haven't even finished the one that you started like a week and a half ago.
I will get to it probably after the podcast. We'll play more. It's been fun. I like Fire Emblem. I'm replaying Three Houses for those who don't know. I've only played one route before, which was the Helping Edelgard route. We are playing Golden Deer this time in preparation for Fortune's Weave. And it's been a lot of fun. It reminds me how much I miss some of the characters and some of the game, basically. What is that copy pasta?
Read it.
I'll let you do it.
I guess it is more in line with with the things I say. Congrats, Eternals were harder 7 years ago. On getting 5-star, it was harder 7 years ago. Siete, you've been working hard. 5-star was harder. I'm happy that the grind was a lot longer, achieved your goal. I know your journey through uncapping was harder. The content was tough, but your recruiting them was harder. Stuck, it was a lot more annoying through it all. And you were rewarded for your getting the Eternals was harder. Tenacity, congrats, it used to be more work. Again.
I think this is one of the funniest copy pastas. This started with the Belial, right? I think.
I don't know. The first time I saw it was the Belial one.
Yeah. I think this is copy pasta at its finest. Oh, it started in 14. Okay. So it started in 14 and it came over to Granblue. And in Granblue, I think Belial was the first time I saw it. So yeah. It started as UCOB 14. What does that mean, Omikin?
I don't know. I literally played maybe 30 seconds of Final Fantasy 14 before closing.
I'm surprised you've even played 30 seconds.
We're not including the character creation part. I started it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was like on some carriage or whatever. I got off. I saw the town and like 5 side quests popped up. I'm like, I don't want to play this, and then closed it.
Did you also spawn in Leminza, or whatever the town is calling it, filtered. Because that's what
I have
happened
no
with me.
idea. I have no
I started
idea.
playing the
It was so
game.
long ago.
I got Leminza, and I got lost, and then I quit.
I literally didn't even take a step. I saw 20 things pop up on my screen. Half of them were side quests or fetch quests. I'm like, I'm not doing this. And I closed it.
The carriage's Gridania start, says Yogi. Okay, so you're in a different spot. But yeah. But yeah, it's the MMO classic, right? Both of us got filtered. Snada says tourist gatekeeped. Okay.
Fine by me.
Yeah.
You guys enjoy.
All right. So that's all the summer news. There's been another topic recently
Oh, has
on
there?
social media. So I don't interact with Twitter too often. So
I
I don't
try
know
not to.
I don't know the full ins and outs. But I think it's worth talking about, right? Especially
Do we have to
because
talk
it
about it?
pertains I think to the wiki and how we classify things too. So I think it's important to talk about somewhat or clarify. So to explain, right?
Go
To
on.
explain, there's been a bit of social media drama. I don't really want to get into the drama. I don't really care for the drama because I think ultimately it's a bit meaningless, and I'll get into why I think that. But essentially, it comes down to the definitions of the word Magna/Omega. That's really the core of the question, or the core of the discussion at hand, right? So I don't know where to start.
You can start by going through what people have been saying about it.
What people have been saying. Okay, so I guess to give full context, right? To give full context, Cajun posted a grid. The grid consisted of primarily odious weapons, and it was labeled as a Magna grid. And obviously, people asked, "Hey, why are we calling this Magna when it's an odious grid?" And this basically spawned a whole bunch of discussion. I
A
think
lot of
a
discussion.
lot of discussion, yeah. I don't think anybody, and the really tricky thing here is that I saw, like, was it Side Smasher? But like other people also did like polls asking, hey, is this an odious or a Magna grid? And for me, I think this is entirely missing the point.
Yes.
Because of course, if you are shown a grid that is primarily odious weapons, that has odious weapons, maybe an opus and a destroyer weapon, and if you give them no other context and you ask them, hey, is this an odious or an omega grid? The answer is, of course, odious.
They're essentially being asked, like, so to me, the term Magna, it has two different labels, I guess, or meanings, or sections, categorizations. Magna, there's Magna proper, so like Omega skills in English, Omega boosted, whatever. That is the type of grid, like, of the weapons that are in there. So that is what people think we're saying when we say Magna setup. Then there's also Magna playstyle. So it's the idea behind the grid and how it's built in, and the larger category it's put into, in contrast to a lot more premium setup that requires possibly monetary investment, which we consider primal in that case, or Optimus. So there's, personally, how I see it is two larger categories: the primal and the Magna playstyles. But everyone thinks,
Yeah.
go on, yeah.
No, I was gonna say, like you said, you're framing this as like, hey, I personally think that there's two definitions, and I don't think that's correct to say. It's not you think, it's just it is a thing. Like it's undoubtedly
Right. That's how it is.
that's just how the language is at the moment. Because, and the best example I can sort of give here, or like not the best example, but an example I can give here is that if we just think about how we use the term Magna in a context, like in a sentence structure, it very clearly encompasses things that are not specifically Magna modifier weapons. So, like for example, you might ask for, or like for example, I am asked, "Hey, do you have a Magna set up for Hexa for Wind?" And then my grid might compose of Siete swords, or it might consist of other things, and all of these like weapons that aren't specifically Magna boosted modifiers, and it would be considered an acceptable response to such an answer. Right, and the same can be said for like maybe Horus katanas, which don't have a boostable mod there as well. There are plenty of weapons like this Revans Mark II, where the term
Dragon.
Magna has been acceptable as just a broad classification of, hey, do you have a weapon that, do you have a Magna grid? And the Magna definitions underneath would be like things that are like not from the gutter, essentially, set up for this particular raid. So even if you might not personally have referred to, like, even though you might look at a grid and be like, hey, that's not a Magna grid, the term Magna has definitely been used amongst the general community to often refer to weapons that don't specifically have Magna modifiers. So, and that's, I think that really is the core of the question at the moment. It's the fact that, or the core of the discussion, it's that these weapons that are primarily farmable are being referred to as Magna, even though they don't have a Magna mod. And I can understand why that's really confusing, right?
Another example of this is when you describe yourself, you say, "Oh, I play Magna Fire. I play Magna Light." But you're not always using Magna grids, like Magna Omega boosted grids all the time. But you still describe yourself as a Magna player. So
yeah, like
that's the idea behind it.
yeah, exactly. Like if you say, "Hey, I'm a Magna Fire player," I would expect you to have odious weapons as well. Just because you said you're a Magna player,
I
I'm not
expect everyone to farm their odious weapons.
Yeah.
They're free.
So yeah, essentially, I don't personally, like, I don't really care what a grid is classified as. I think that misses the point entirely. Like, I don't really care if you describe this as a brown grid, an odious grid. Like it, I think that misses the point and the bigger topic at hand, which is that the term Magna is being used to encompass essentially weapons that are generally farmable. Because Magna is a misleading term because it will inevitably lead to situations like right now where the when you see an odious boosted grid and people call it Magna, it's gonna be like, why the hell are you calling it Magna, right? So like,
Yeah,
I understand why the discussion happened. I'm not disagreeing that this is an odious grid. In a vacuum, if I was asked what sort of grid this is, what would I classify this as? I would say odious, right? That's, I don't think anyone is probably denying that. It's more that Magna can also, when there's nuance and subtleties here that's essentially, I think, being lost just due to the nature of social media.
don't get me wrong. I don't like using the term Magna. If anything, I don't like using the Japanese terms when referring to official things. Like even on the wiki, we only use the like localized terms for things. I don't like calling an odious grid Magna, but that's just how it is. That's how we've understood it for many, many, many years. That's just how things are currently categorized. I would love if there was a better term, but there isn't right now, at least. So
And I think that's
what we got.
and I think that's where we just, as a community, need to come up with a better term for grids that have primarily farmable things. I think that is the number one thing that is most apparent to me. It's that we just need a better term for grids that mostly encompass a farmable versus a primal grid, which has mostly gacha weapons. So yeah, like I think people are at the moment really getting caught up in, hey, this grid is odious boosted, therefore it's an odious grid. It's not a Magna grid. But again, I think this just isn't the topic at hand. Whether you like it or not, Magna has referred to farmable weapons. Like this grid here, this would be considered a premium Magna grid. Whether you like the term or not, it would be considered a premium Magna grid, despite it having Magna mods, EX mods, normal attack mods, odious mods, right? Like this grid on the right. So that's why I think like we shouldn't really worry about whether a grid is classified. What we don't need to come up with a specific name for this grid here, is what I'm trying to say. We don't need to specify, hey, that this is an Eli grid or this is a Glorp grid or whatever. Like it misses the point entirely. I think we just as a community just need to come up with a better term for grids that consist mainly of weapons that are farmable. And I think the one of the terms that I've heard people say is, why don't you just use farmable? But then we know from working on the wiki, and I know also from streaming, that if you have a grid that I labeled as farmable, but then I have a gacha weapon in there,
Oh my god!
I will never hear the end of it. So I personally am against using the word farmable. Personally, so I would ask the community to come up with a different term. Yeah, I would ask the community to come up with a better term than farmable. There's a reason I don't call them farmable grids. And it's because if my farmable grid had a weapon that's not farmable in there, I, as a content creator, am going to get crucified for that. So this is me asking the community to, let's not use the word farmable for this. Let's come up with a different word. But yeah, I think that's what all this discussion at the very least comes down to. It's, we just essentially need a better term for grids or setups that have mostly farmable things, because calling them Magna just invites way too much confusion.
It has to be a good one.
But Magna's already being used in that way when people say premium Magna. I agree with you, but farmable has a definition, if that makes sense, whereas Magna is like a proper noun that was given to something. Like, let's pretend we use the same terminology for farmable and we say premium farmable. That doesn't...
Sure.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
It's like saying pay to win, free to play.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I don't think we should use farmable as a term.
What about the Optimus grids that use farmable weapons in it? Like, what do we call those?
Yeah, so I think that is, I guess, my 2 cents or take on the current discussions. Like, if you ask anybody, like, and you gave them 2 options, and it was, hey, is this an odious or an omega grid? Of course the answer is odious. It's odious. Of course it's
odious.
Yeah, like, of course it's odious.
No one's
not arguing against that. It's more about the fact that the term Magna is used currently to encompass things that are mostly farmable. And those, unfortunately, do include odious weapons. And it shows me that we as a community need a better term for it, because Magna is clearly misleading. And I think this leads nicely into advanced grids because you and I work on advanced grids.
I'm retired.
We've been asked a lot whether we will be including an odious section because currently we have the Colossus, like the Magna row, and then we have the Primal row. We've been asked a lot of times whether we will have an odious row. And currently we have no plans to add an odious row. That doesn't mean we're not going to add odious grids. It just means that they're going to be introduced into the top row, which we are going to change the name and the label of at some point in the future, to better indicate that both odious grids and omega grids exist there. And the simple reason is because, at least for me, and I imagine this is the same case for a lot of people, that the main distinction that I care about when I'm searching for a grid is whether I can farm most of the pieces or whether then I can't, or whether they're from the gacha. That's pretty much, for me, that what I care most about. And from the way Advanced Grids was designed in the first place, that's why this distinction exists, right? We didn't want gacha weapon grids mixed with farmable grids. I do think within the grids of raids, depending on how many odious setups they are and how they turn out to be, because we can't see the future, we don't know how these setups are going to be defined or how common they are, what differences there will be between Magna and Primal, but maybe in the future there might be distinctions that need to be made. So maybe there'll be a tab for Omega and maybe a tab for Odious. I don't think that's needed at the moment because personally, this isn't rolled out to all the grids yet, but currently they're ordered by speed mainly, right? The faster setups at the top. If an Odious setup is the fastest setup, it's going to be at the top. If it's a slower setup, then it's going to be at the bottom, right? So I personally think that this is the only real organization that we need. But once again, depending on how setups evolve in the future, that separate classification might be needed, but that won't be done in the form of a separate row here. It will be more done on the grid page, maybe as a separate tabber.
This is not a promise of anything. It's
this is more our thinking at the moment. So yeah,
because categorizing things and displaying things is a freaking nightmare.
It is. I think
because oh my god, I hate doing it, but
categorizing things is one of the hardest things you can do. I think I'm sure everybody's maybe had an experience of trying to categorize things on their PC, like in a folder structure. And I'm sure that there have been situations where you make a category and you put like a file in that folder, but then it also fits into another folder. And then it just creates a headache down the line where you don't know which folder it's in. So we don't want a situation like that, essentially. I think what is more important here is the sorting method. So currently in Granblue, speed is king. Whatever is faster is better. Whatever does more damage is better. So that's currently how I feel like it's going to be sorted. So both Omega and Odious setups, I think, will probably live together, like it currently is on this page. But it will be more that the better setups will go towards the top.
And that's why I don't want to separate them in that sense, because you're essentially filtering out certain setups that aren't visibly displayed in front of you that you have to go out of your way to find in a separate tab. And I don't want that when fundamentally they are under that one larger category of, quote, primarily farmable things.
I think that's a good point. By separating it into a different category is essentially the same thing as filtering it out. And yeah, if the reason for, if in the future we're asked to separate Odious, I think it's really important whether we figure out whether people are asking for that because they don't want to see Odious setups for various reasons, or if it's because there is an actual other reason that's needed for that. because this, by filtering out setups, essentially, that leads very close to separating by characters or filtering out characters or things you don't have, which is something that's asked all the time about advanced grids.
And I'm not doing
And
that.
there's a reason we don't do that, other than it being a technical nightmare. So, yeah.
Based on all the comments that I've read so far, a lot of the reasoning behind wanting a separate filter for Odious is really just because they don't want to farm Odious. That's it. And I'm like, sorry, you gotta at some point. Like that's just the game. I'm sorry you don't like the system, but it's there.
Okay. Like I feel like I've not seen that much of that sentiment personally, but then again, I don't interact with too many. Like I don't go on Twitter that much or other Discord servers other than the ones I frequent. So yeah, that's not a sentiment I've seen, but I've definitely seen that for other things.
It really is
so, yeah.
the idea of I don't have this character. I want to hide it. Or I want to put it somewhere else so I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that idea from what I've seen. If you guys have a better reason, go ahead, let us know. You know, it just can't be I don't want to do this. So
yeah, I would
come up with a better reason.
That is not a good reason to separate them out, essentially, and I agree with that. That is not a reason I would want to separate them. It would need to be an actual more concrete reason than that. But yeah, this sort of goes into us and advanced grids. So I think, yeah, if you have any comments or thoughts on what we just talked about, feel free to talk, ask now. Well, I suppose this is a mini Q&A session.
So like a lot of people think everything we do is like it's only my opinion and my opinion matters and I'm correct. But like give me your opinions, give me a solid reasoning why you think certain things should change. And like we'll consider it within our abilities. Your feedback is important. It just has to be actual feedback and not I don't want to do this thing.
Oh, also I was recently told that some people think we hide the best setups on the wiki. I just want to make it clear that that's definitely not the case. I don't know where that thought came from. In fact, if you ask anybody who's been around my stream, I'm always the one yelling at people to stop hiding strats. So yeah, maybe the wiki's not up to date with the best setup, but that's just comes down to it's not updated, not we're hiding things. So yeah, I just want to make that clear.
Personally, if I do find like a really good setup, before I even add it to the wiki, I need to make sure that setup is not bait. Like
yes,
it needs to be a legit
important.
setup, consistent setup that you can like putting it on the wiki or anywhere really is useful to someone else and not like it's super bait, super cherry picked setup. Like it needs to be an actual legit setup. So there is personally a level of verification that I do when adding things or showcasing things.
Yes, especially for full autos. I do the same. I just want to go quickly just back to classifying grids and why I think ultimately it doesn't really matter what we classify grids as, whatever you want to call this grid. It really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, why I think the term, a new term for Magna / farmable, whatever you want to call it, I think the reason that's important is to make looking up setups easier as well. Like I'm sure when you go on Twitter or YouTube and you're looking for Guild Wars setups or whatever, you don't want to be typing NM 150 Magna, then you do another search, NM 150 Odious, then you do another search, NM 150, I don't know, next grid type, right? Nobody wants to be doing like 5 separate searches to get the type, like a type of grid that they want, which is why I think only two distinctions really matter at the end of the day, which is whether it's a primarily gacha weapon grid, which we call primal at the moment, or whether it's a primarily farmable grid. So, yeah. That's why I also think coming up with a better term for that is more important. Just because, yeah, it's one of the most important classifications we can have. There's 0 point in hiding anything unless you're like top 100 and get well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, chat, this delves into a little bit of backstory as well, but I will tell you that like I've literally got in trouble because I shared a setup on the wiki that I wasn't meant to before. Right? It was obviously by mistake. It wasn't intentional, but I like that is how willing I am to put things on the wiki, is what I'm trying to say. Like, essentially, if I see a setup and I think it's good, I will put it on the wiki unless I'm explicitly told not to, which is pretty much only in the context of Guild War. And that's only happened once, where I've been told not to put something on the wiki, because most people know if I'm shared something, I will probably share it with everybody else. So.
If anything, you're just gonna do the setup live. So it would be public at that point.
Yeah, exactly. I would just do it live. So, no. So yeah, no, we don't hide things on the wiki. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
If it's public, it's free game. If it's not up there, go ahead and add it. Just make sure you verify that it doesn't suck.
I like on the advanced grids page for the elements such as water, for example, you have skill damage, ODS, or revans, no revans. Oh, I think that's maybe the templates. Is that what you're referring to? Maybe. Not sure. We have to fix these. The tab is all
Oh my god,
broken.
those tabbers are so borked. Oh my god.
Yeah, the tabbers are still borked. Oh yeah, that you are talking about that. Yeah, and this was to create like to showcase different types of grids.
I notice how they're all under the Magna page. I'm just saying.
I think it's really funny that recently, we were told like, hey, maybe the wiki should use different verbiage to like lead the community into saying a certain word. To like,
yeah, why don't you guys just call it Omega?
Yeah, so like we were told like, hey, why doesn't like the wiki use Omega and Optimus, and like all of these pages don't have like any mention of Magna or Primal. Those are just community terms. And language is hard, especially when you're in the habit of calling something. Like so many people call charge attacks Ogi. I do too. So yeah. It just helps clearly show what I need to farm if I want that sort of grid or playstyle, yeah. I think with the new odious weapons, that becomes a little bit more murky, just because they seem a lot more universal. But at the end of the day, the older odious weapons clearly have a certain like direction to them. And in an interview, they said they wanted odious grids to be like alternatives to Omega grids. And I would say with the original odious grids, it definitely feels that way because they provide things that Magna weapons don't. The Omega series doesn't, so.
Yeah, it literally feels like they tried filling in the gaps that Magna had in certain playstyles.
Mm-hmm. I'm a bit out. What's OOT?
Out of touch.
Out of touch. Okay, but will the wiki feature a tier list for each category, a character subcategory? Debuff for healer skill damage. Thank you. It would help a lot when building a hybrid setup. No, we won't.
No, hell no, hell no. I'm not touching tier list.
No.
Out of topic. Oh.
So the reason we won't do that, we've been asked about tier lists in the past. tier lists are very subjective. I think tier list as a concept is flawed. You can never have a perfect tier list, basically, right? I think we can all agree on that. Everybody has their own opinions and things like that. I think this is your question is very relevant because Genshin, there's a new Genshin tier list on Priden, and that's being criticized to hell and back at the moment. Granblue has so many more characters. I think the meta and synergies between certain characters and niche, there's a lot more niches in Granblue, which makes it basically impossible to make a tier list that everybody will be ever happy with. So I understand as a newer player, especially, it might be useful to look at a tier list just to get an idea of how a character might function. But the unfortunate reality of the situation is that no tier list is perfect. And with anything imperfect on the internet, it will always be criticized. And I think that's just far too much effort to help maintain and keep maintained at the end of the day. That's my perspective on it. I think this most recent Odious versus Omega also shows that as well.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that any amount of character... I'll put it this way, right? On the wiki, we do have a tier list, but it's not our tier list. We just copy number for number, rating for rating from Game With. Yet the wiki gets a lot of shit for a lot of these ratings. Like the English wiki, where we don't even make these ratings ourselves, we get shit on because people don't agree with the rating.
Numbers.
Yeah, all we do is we just look at Game With and they put it as a number, we put the same number. But we are the ones who are told, hey, the wiki's just wrong, blah, blah, blah. And we're just like, we don't make these ratings. And I think making an actual tier list for our own personal tier list won't alleviate any of those issues because, yeah, no one will ever be able to agree on a specific rating.
Everyone has different priorities, and even within the Game With ratings, they have Game With grades that rate characters differently depending on how you use them. So like there's so much things that go into rating a character, you just can't make a tier list for that. For these characters, there's just so many and so many different uses.
Don't you think you should make a warning that this doesn't reflect the wiki or something? It's already there. It's like, I don't know. At the end of the day, people don't read. The page is called Game With Ratings.
It does not matter how big you make the warning. You can
all
make
ratings
it
in this, yeah,
like 2,000 font size. People will ignore it because, it's always there. Even if you make it like an annoying pop-up, people will just click through it. Like there's no way to force people to read things.
So yeah, you just go down to the tier list, and I don't blame that. Right, that's what a tier list is meant to do. It's meant to be a very quick consumption of information. But yeah, there are inherent flaws with that. You don't have much context and things like that. So, yeah, like on the things on the page itself, we say multiple times that the ratings are from Game With, but yeah, so no, we have no plans to make a tier list on the wiki. And yeah, even with advanced grids, our hands are full. And we've been relatively quiet on advanced grids for a while now as well. Because we've had other interests, and it's all volunteer work at the end of the day.
And thank you to everyone who has been contributing it
helps a lot
in the time. So
yeah. helps
I don't feel like I have to constantly keep everything updated because we have other volunteers who step in and do some work. So it's nice. Thank you.
With the tier list, I feel like it should load faster if the SRs and Rs are auto excluded. That's been brought up, but if you actually take note of how many SSR characters there are versus SRs and Rs, there's not actually that much difference. The page is just big because there's so many characters in Granblue at the end of the day.
There's over 1,000. And they're not even all of them are on this list. The Evokers and Eternals are excluded.
if you guys have any feedback on the wiki and I'm not live, or you just want to drop some questions or whatever, there is a link on the wiki's front page. So that's where I would direct any questions wiki related. So on the front page, there's the Discord icon there in the top right next to the logo. And that will take you to the Wiki Discord. So that's where you can drop any feedback or any questions or things like that. Pages you think are missing, information that you think should be changed, or if you find any typos or whatever. So I implore you, I ask that you do that if you have any feedback.
Yes, we are not the only people who work on the wiki. We also
we're
are
a very
not the
small part of
only
the wiki.
people who are in charge of everything. We can't just willy-nilly change things just because we feel like it. There is some structure to things that have to be considered. So not everything can just be like, oh, this thing is not how I want it. We got to change that. It's not that easy sometimes. So just let us know. Just let us know that you're thinking about that. It gets into the minds of everyone who works on the wiki. So let us know your thoughts. Sometimes we can't fix it, but it lets us know that you're thinking about it. So
yeah, I think that's important. All right, I think that's a show. Any final things that we want to touch on?
I'm quitting Granblue and becoming a Wuthering Waves main.
Okay, you say that every time. It's basically the boy who cried wolf now.
Okay, but I am. I'll log in for Fraux uncap and then I'm out. See you.
Yeah, sure. All right. Anyways, that's us out. Thanks for watching or listening if you're a podcast listener. Spotify yells at me to tell people to follow, so I guess I'll do that. If you're not subbed on YouTube or followed, make sure you do that.
It's just one click. You can hide the notification if you're annoyed.
Yeah, it would help me out greatly. All right. Thank you so much for watching, listening. We'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.